My organization, Deutsche Bahn, we provide services for the public mass transportation in Germany. It's 10 times as large as the largest airline in the world, so no matter we talk about big data. Of course, we'd like to contribute to green mobility even further, because our aim is to get another 1 billion passengers on board. With this, we need definitely to become more attractive to our customers, and likewise, for this, we need to increase our capacity when aiming at the target. While financial and operational metrics such as utilization rates or our product availability are nevertheless important to be looked at, but we have to watch our competitiveness, and that needs very much our passion at the same time. But what did we learn from the experience so far? What are the keys for thriving in a persistently changing world? I guess instead of relying on ad hoc measures only or hedges against specific scenarios, the outperformance is, amongst others, a question of smart implementation of AI and ML. And therefore, we use technology to keep costs under control, push our revenues, and contribute to sustainability. But we still struggle with one quite important question. Can we rely on the data provided for the analysis? And who in our organization might be able to answer the question? Who is in charge? On the next slide, I'll share with you some analytics discussions that provide more insights and show the importance of good data for FP&A. When we look at our challenges in planning and forecasting, we noticed two things. One, transparency of information from FP&A to the business units, and of course, vice versa plays an important role. Two, our financial forecasting improves with an even better understanding of our key value drivers. At the end, it needs more than a monitoring of price and volume to explain KPIs. And those pushing the levers of our value drivers usually can be found in our business units, operations or sales and marketing, but less than the FP&A. And that's why we started our AI models at first to reduce, for example, energy consumption. The results of a model that optimizes driving behavior in order to reduce that fuel consumption, that is used by our train drivers, of course, but at the same time with the same database for the FP&A. It's one shared database, one shared algorithm, and we came up with 8% less fuel consumption within the last 18 months. So that is quite successful. Before, we shared the information of driving behavior with FP&A, and we purely relied on volume and prices KPIs. Today, the ML model, which is an artificial intelligence version as well, one method, helps the train driver to adjust his driving very much at the point of time he's on the driver's seat. And parallel to this, it helps us in FP&A to gain more insights. A second example doesn't seem to be so evident at first sight, what the benefit of FP&A is. And when looking at information regarding our train tickets, we get better passenger information en route. So information on the punctuality of trains, it pays for a higher customer satisfaction. At the same time, it's necessary for invoicing, because in our invoicing, since we hold the contracts with the public hand, our train services are reflecting as well, our invoices reflect as well the service we provided and the quality of our train rides. Plus, then there's the information, of course, en route to our passengers, and punctuality overall improves the services when we know specifically where the need arises to work on a more punctual train ride and where it's passing through our thresholds. So running 22,000 trains a day brings you immediately to big data, to advanced analytics, and of course, the use of AI. The two cases that I've shown you, what do they have in common? The one is their analytics budget for those analytics cases, that's pretty significant. So it's costly. Then they both rely on the quality of data which they use. And third, there is no metric. We didn't have that before we used AI to evaluate the quality of the input data or on the quality of the analytics results. Let me show you on my next slide what we did to cope with pain. Our instinct tells us that investing large sums in AI and ML to innovate and to win the competitive edge, that should be beneficial. So amongst other quality issues that come up, we usually assume that the data is complete, the data is accurate, that we use for our AI models, and there's no question about it. In the past, when we tried to get an answer on the quality of that data, we asked the application manager about the quality of the data provided by the app. Continuing to do so might be a little short-sighted. Why? Well, I've picked the example of our passenger information about the punctuality of trains. The data product punctuality in our process derives from very different sources. And those different sources today are data silos. They don't necessarily belong to the same business unit or even our own organization. And to visualize this, our multiple data provided are highlighted by different colors. What a colorful picture, isn't it? So how did we overcome the challenge to find the one person in charge? In order to receive a certificate for your quality as a company, in Germany, we usually describe processes and audit those, and we add and stick a responsible person to the process. Since data usually flows over any process and tackles a few applications, as in the example shows, at the end, and it leads to a data product at the end of that process. And for this reason, in our organization, we linked that data ownership to the process ownership. Our data owners are responsible for providing compliant data, managing its data quality along that process. So how did we get started? In the first step, there was a data officer, and he supports the onboarding of each data owner. Together, they analyze the data flow within the process and describe data pain points along that process. So a metric gets installed, and we monitor the data quality. Those quality performance indicators lead to enriching the performance management of a process. And such QPIs, quality performance indicators, in our company get added to the performance review of each business unit for continuous improvement and monitoring. So the FP&A function monitors those performance indicators, including the QPIs on a routine basis. In cooperation with our data officer, you can add data quality indicators and boost your results of the analytics models, of course. So in return, you not only get a better quality of your databases, but as well the fidelity on the process fulfillment can be reached. Let me briefly share how we rolled out the concept of data ownership to enhance data quality. Since our organization drives green mobility and our strategy promotes that pay in. So we follow the strategic set. Any prioritizing of strategic projects is our basis for choosing the process which supports those projects and the data within. Finally, I'd like to point out the rather technical task, the monitoring of the data quality on my last slide. As highlighted before, incompleteness of data can make dramatic changes to results of your AI model. And you probably already heard of digitizing data. So recording the data is accompanied by monitoring, and any inconsistency automatically generates an incident handling to force a new complete data delivery. With the monitoring, you need the KPIs generated in the monitoring to get visualized as well for the management to be able to get in charge and make it happen to improve data quality. So that was a sneak peek on data quality, and I hand back to you, Hans.